Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Welcome. Good afternoon. It's that time of the week where we come to talk about parenting issues. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to PTM Hangout. My name is Mary Beth Chima. I am the convener and founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy. Where are you joining us from right now? Let us know. Let us know if you're joining us on Facebook or you're joining us on YouTube. All right. If you're on YouTube and you have not subscribed, please just hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the subscribe button and remember to also hit the like button so that you can get notification every time we drop it hot, right? Every time we drop new resources so that you are not left out. Right. If you are here, please don't just be in the background. Let us know that you have joined us. Give StreamYard access to allow us see who is making a comment in the comment section. Just 1 second. Let me just turn on this fan. 1 second, please. 1 second. All right. I hope it doesn't disturb us. All right, I hope that doesn't disturb us. Sorry, that's what happens when you're home alone. All right, so beautiful. So yes, if we're using StreamYard, so if you're here on Facebook, you can just give us access so that we can see who is commenting when you comment in the comment section. If you are on YouTube, please hit the like button. Don't just go there. Hit the like button when you get there. Also, ensure that you subscribe, so as I said, so that you get notifications when we are live. So today we're talking about how we can help our children to excel everywhere, right? How we can help them excel in school, excel at home, excel everywhere they find themselves. Yesterday we came back, the kids and I came back from school and all of that, and I had to dash out to do a bit of shopping. Hi, hello, Facebook user. I can't see your name because you didn't give us access, but welcome. It's nice to have you. All right, so I had to dash out immediately. We go here to go and get a few things while they come in and settle and all of that. So they had enough time to settle down, do their quiet time, basically do their routines, engage, in their routines and all of that. Now I came in, I got a bit busy too and all of that. Then it was time for us to go and cook. So in my home, we cook together. The kids and I all go into the kitchen and we cook and all of that. And when daddy's in the kitchen also, they go in to help daddy and all of that. So, but he had his homework yesterday, and I think he had a couple of researches to do and all of that. My son now, my 12-year-old. And he came and sat down here and was trying to do, in the research room, was trying to do his homework. And at some point I was like, hello, what's going on here? What's going on here? It is time for something else, right? It is time for something else and all that. And he turned and he's like, I have homework. And I'm like, yes, I've got homework too. I've got my own work too. So, but basically, what am I saying? Our children, excellence basically is not just in their academics. Excellence is in every aspect of their lives, right? And excellence should be learned in a way that it becomes a part of our lives, basically. All right. So I have written here. I was looking. When I was preparing this session, I was like, okay, let's look at the definition. What really is excellence? Okay, so from Oxford Dictionary, I got that excellence is the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. So when something is outstanding or the thing is extremely good, we say that thing is excellent, isn't it? All right. Now, there is a difference because sometimes people mistake these two. There is a difference between excellence and perfection. All right. And it's important that we know this as parents so that we know what demands we're making of our children per time. Now, if you're here, please, and you know someone who needs to be here right now, you have a friend who should be here right now, you need to tag them straight away. All right, we need to tag them straight away. We've talked about this session. We've sent notifications and announcements and all of that. So, hey, where are you? Where them be? All right, so if you know someone who needs to be here right now, please tag them so that they can join us on this session right away. Sorry, 1 second, Ruth. All right, so that they can join us right away because it's a session that you really do not want to miss. It's a session that you really Do not want to miss. All right. So, excellence and perfection. They are two different things, and it's important that we know the difference between these two different things as parents so that we know what we're demanding of our children per time. Because what we see a lot of the times is parents who are demanding perfection from their children without even knowing it. All right. So, I'll tell you the difference between excellence and perfection. All right. Now, excellence is so as a parent, yeah, as I said, so when your goal, right, is seeking that a task is done in the best way possible, right? When your goal is really to do that task in the best way that you can, isn't it? Now it means that you know that there is room. Hello, Chidima, good to have you. Welcome here. All right, so you know that there is room for mistakes, right? There is room for mistakes. There is room for, the limits, to what you can do based on the skills and based on the ability that you have, right? So when excellence is the goal, you are looking at how best you can do that thing to the best of your ability and the best of the resources that is available to you. So in being excellent, you are looking for every way possible that you can do. You're using every resource around you, all the resources around you. You are giving in yourself 100%. Right now, it means that you are focused on excellence. Now, at the end of it, you get satisfied. That's the thing about excellence. At the end of the day, you get satisfied because you have given your best. So you acknowledge your efforts when excellence is the goal. Perfection, on the other hand, is constantly looking at what you have not been able to do. So when perfection is the goal, you are constantly comparing yourself. Right? Just give me a minute, please. When perfection is the goal, you are constantly comparing yourself. You never feel that you have given enough because perfection seeks that you do something at the 100%, 100% possibility of that thing happening. So you are always thinking you will never get satisfied when perfection is the goal. Now, this is the reason a lot of times that as parents, we don't get satisfied with the things that our children do because the goal is not excellence, but perfection. So the child has done their best based on the ability that they have. The child has done their best based on the skills that has been made, the skill that they've been taught or the skills that they have. The child has done their best based on the resources that you have made available to that child. And yet you still do not get it. You are still comparing them with Lagbaja. You're comparing them with your sister's child, with this one, with your older sibling, with your younger sibling, with their friends, and all of that. Now, in that case, you need to get it straight, parents. In that case, you are not expecting excellence from this child. You are expecting perfection from this child, and perfection is usually a Herculean. Perfection is usually, not very easy to access, isn't it? All right. Now, what are we looking at when we're looking at excellence, right? I said I was going to look at 5 different areas, right, in our lives or the lives of our children where they can apply excellence, isn't it? I said we're going to look at that. And a good way to look at excellence is go back to the scriptures, really. It's a good way to look at excellence. In Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10, it says that whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. Whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. So I'm going to tell you that for me, I've looked at this critically. I've looked at excellence, okay, as a skill. I've looked at excellence as a virtue, okay, and I have come to this realization that there are 5 important ways, right, that you can actually teach excellence as a parent. You can hinge excellence around 5 important areas of their lives. One of them is hinging it on biblical principles, right? You can never go wrong with biblical principles, and I always say this to the parents in the mentor parent support program. When we say you should tie things to biblical principles, we are not saying you should turn yourself to a preacher and turn your home to a church that constantly you are berating your children and telling them how this is wrong, and then you're quoting scriptures for them. At that point, it's going to, it's going to turn to something that they will not appreciate anymore. Okay, you are their parents and they don't want you to turn yourself into a preacher. All right, so hinge this on biblical principles. Okay, and I just said, whatever, that's what scripture says, whatever that your hand finds, do it with all your might. So when you are coming from a biblical point of view, when your children are doing something, you can ask them, this thing you have done or this thing you are doing, are you giving it 100%? Are you doing it with every, have you putting your best into it? Are you putting everything that is within you into achieving this thing? That's the first question you want to ask them. Have you given it your best shot? Isn't it? The second question you want to ask your children is, have you put the best into this thing that honors you? Okay, this thing you are doing, does it honor you as a person? Do you honor yourself through this thing you are doing? The effort that you have made, does it honor you? So when I go to school with my children during their PTC, when we, after a test or exams, you're meeting with their teacher and all of that. Usually when they hand me the report card, I usually hand the report card to the child, right? I will hand the report card to the child, right? It's your report. Look at your report. So usually they will flip, they will go through the reports and all of that. I would, sometimes they will hand you the scripts from the exams too. So I am flipping through the scripts. As I'm flipping through the scripts, one of the things at the back of my mind is looking out for where there's probably a mistake. Okay, where there's probably a mistake, why some things, when I see one that the score is really low, I'm looking at, okay, that the score is not what it should be. I'm looking at, why is this so, and all of that. I look at it, one or two answers and all of that. But the report card is yours. When the child has gone through that report card and is done, I usually would ask them, is that you? Did you do that? Do you feel proud of yourself? Do you feel good about this result, this report, right? Have you honored yourself right through your performance? So you need to let children own own the things that they do. You need to let your children learn to honor themselves, okay? So you ask them, have you put in your best 100%? That's the first question. What you are doing or what you have done, does it honor you as a person? All right. The next question you want to ask is, does it honor us as your parents? If your parents have if your parents have sent you to school, if your parents have engaged you in an activity, if your parents have created the environment for you to thrive, if your parents have provided the resources that you need to thrive, it's only right that you honor them by giving in your best. So the third question you want to ask the child is, have you honored your parents? Are you sure you have honored us through this choice or through this, what you have done or what you're doing right now? All right. Then above all, you want to ask your child, does this thing you are doing, does this thing you have done, does it honor God? Okay. You want to ask them, does it honor God? Right. So that's when you take them back to Bible principles and you remind them that God said, or these are things you even, these are principles that should be established in your home from the word go, that your children know that whatever they find their hands on, right, that they should do it with all their might because it is what God says they should do. So you want to ask them at the end of the day, have you honored God? Does he honor God? All right. So that's the first thing you want to do if you want to raise children who apply excellence in everything that you do. So for everything that they do, every choice that they make, every decision that they make, you want to ask them this question: does he honor you? Have you given it your 100% best? Does he honor you? Does he honor God? And of course, does it honor your parents? All right? The next thing you want to do is model excellence. You want to teach your children excellence, but your children see that there is nothing that you do well. Nothing. They walk into your room is always a mess. And then you go to their room and you call them pigs, right? You go to their rooms and you're constantly berating them and telling them, your room is so dirty, you're such a pig. Meanwhile, they come into your room and your bra is hanging. So, do you understand? Your stuff are all over the place and all of that. And you're constantly telling them how you are busy with work. You're constantly telling them how, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so this, I'm so that, right? Apart from that, your children watch you and they see how you handle other things in your life. Are you that person that works? Are you that person that is an employee that is constantly going to work? I mean, they know they are your children, so they know that office, you need to be at the office at 9. But you're constantly, during the holiday, you're constantly leaving for work at 11. In fact, you will even be saying it. You'll be on a phone call with your friends and you're, man, I'm so late, make I can't go, that kind of thing. And next thing, your children will not wake up in the morning and you want to berate them and tell them how they don't keep to time. Okay, so as a parent, you need to model the excellence that you want to see in your children. All right, in the things that you do, you run a business and your children are constantly wondering what time you run that business, because 90% of the time you are chilling at home, sleeping and watching Telemundo. How are you? How are you showing up in your business place? Are you that woman that sells akara? How well do you show up at your akara station? How well do you show up at your akara station every day? How early do you go there? Do you go there when customers are already standing and waiting for you? Or is it that by the time your first customer shows up, you already... I hope we're on YouTube. All right, so is it that by the time, please, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, let me know that you're watching on YouTube, that we're live on YouTube, and there are no hiccups on YouTube. All right. Now, is it like by the time you get there, by the time your first customer shows up, you're ready and you have the first batch for them to buy from? It doesn't matter what you do, because sometimes we like to think that you have to be of a certain status for you to exhibit or for you to put out excellence to your children. No, whatever you do, however, hello Facebook user, welcome. That's why it shows me Facebook user, because I can't see your name. Thank you for joining us. All right. So whatever it is, you need to model excellence. Let your children see you excellent at the things that you do. Let your children see you put their best. Let your children know that you are that parent. And this one is even I am guilty of this one, but it's something that you cannot catch my husband. My husband will never, in all the almost 14 years that we've been married, my husband will hardly arrive anywhere late. Hardly ever. So the children know when the children need to go out with daddy, when they know that daddy is coming with us, or this is daddy's show and all of that, or daddy's taking them out, they are there. As in, they are there sharp at the right time. I've done a good job. I'm doing plenty of work in that area, and I've made improvement. But what am I saying? We have to model the things that we want to see in our children. We need to teach our children how to show up and show up well, right? We need to show them how to teach them how to show up and show up well by making sure that we show up well every time. All right. The third one is inspiration, vision. Okay. Now, what is it that your child is doing per time? What is it that your child is focused at the time? Is it their academics? Is it like your child is learning? Your child is focused on a skill. Is he playing basketball? Is he playing football? Is he learning to play musical instruments? Is he an activist? Is your child an orator. Whatever it is that your child is budding, whatever area where your child is budding, or whatever area where your child has interest and has got talent, what you want to do as a parent is you want to create an inspiration, or you want to help your child be able to picture excellence in that thing. How do you do that? You show them people who have gone ahead of them in that area and have done excellently well, or are doing excellently well in that area. That's what my book Bedtime Stories for Champions is about. So when I was writing Bedtime Stories for Champions, it's because I wanted to give children people that they can model their lives after. Okay? And basically, it doesn't have to be every aspect of their lives. What area of their lives have they done remarkably well? Okay, is that something that is you're interested in? Is that something that you have an interest in? Is that something that looks like anything that is you? Then hey, this is someone that you can model after. This is someone that you can create a vision in your head of what excellence in that area can take you to, basically. There's a story of Obama in that, in Bedtime Stories for Champions, not necessarily because Obama is a child, but I had to put Obama there because I wanted children to understand that it doesn't matter the tides. It doesn't matter what society says. It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter where you find yourself. It doesn't matter the ground where you are. Wherever you are planted, God has given you, right? God has given you the capacity and the ability to thrive where you are. You are like trees that are planted by the rivers of waters. You thrive wherever. Your seeds are green. You flourish wherever. So if our children understand that they can flourish wherever they find themselves, it doesn't matter what the society there says. It doesn't matter whether they say black people don't exist here or black people don't thrive here. It doesn't matter that they say women don't exist here or women don't thrive here. It doesn't matter that they say because you're from a culture or from a tradition, you cannot thrive there. You can decide in your heart, provided you can think it and you can put your hands to the plow, then you can do it. So this is it. These are the kind of things we want to, these are the kind of ways that we want to raise our children. These are the kind of things we want to say to our children consistently. Yes, Chidima, no excuse to thrive. You were born to thrive. So excellence teaches our children that thriving is not an option. So wherever you find yourself, they're asking themselves, am I giving my 100%? Am I giving 100% of me in this area right now, in this thing that I'm doing? They're asking themselves, am I honoring myself through this thing that I am doing? They're asking themselves, am I honoring the people that have provided platforms, that have provided education, provided platforms for me, people that have supported me over the years? Am I honoring them through what I'm doing? They're asking themselves, am I honoring God through what I'm doing? So when our children can do this, you will realize that the only thing they have in their head is thrive. The only thing they have in their head is flourish. Okay? So Bedtime Story is a book that I wrote almost 2 years ago. It's a bestseller, right? We just printed a whole set of new books. So yes, if you want to order copies of Bedtime Stories for Champions, you can do that right now. We're not talking about it a lot. So that's Bedtime Stories for Champions. So we're not talking about it a lot at the point because we had run out of copies. So we didn't want to talk too much, and then you ask for you order for it and we can't get it to you. And yes, it's going to be on Amazon next week. So don't worry if you're not here. It's going to be on Amazon next week and you can have it on Amazon. You can order it on Amazon, right? And then, yes, in Nigeria, what do you call it? Our dispatch and delivery, we've gotten a set of new dispatch and delivery people. So, getting your books to you is a lot easier now. All right. So if you even have a copy of Bedtime Stories for Champions, you should give to your children, your children's friends, and gifts, your loved ones and all of that. What I do these days is when I find something that is really great, okay, for children, what I do is I don't leave it at just having it for my kids. What I do now is I actually, as much as possible, get for the children in their circle, or see how I, get for the children in their circle, see how I can have the children in their circle reach it too, because it is very important that the people that your children associate with have the same mindset. It gets why. Eh? It gets why. Okay, so yes, if you have a copy, it's time to buy a copy for their best friend, for your sister's children, and all of that, so that your these children are thinking, they're thinking in the same way, basically. All right, so the next thing is right resources and environment. Okay, so you need to provide resources and the right environment for your children. You want your children to be excellent. You want them to be excellent. Then you need to make available the resources that they need in whatever area that you want them to be excellent, in whatever area that they are focused on per time. You want to provide the resources in that area that can make them thrive. You want to provide the right environment for them to thrive. You want to ensure that your children are put in a space, right? Even with the things that you say to them, isn't it? So if you carry your children, right? Okay, yes, birthday gift as well. You're very right. Okay, so if you take your children and you put your children in an environment that after you've done all the work, right? After you've done all the work for your children, sorry, just one second. Let me turn this fan to me. Sorry about that. So after you've done all the work for your children, right? You finish doing all the work with your children and all of that, and you don't bother to look at the associations that they have. You don't bother to help enrich the parents, right, of their friends, or enrich their friends. You will make it very difficult for your children to thrive, because these are the people in their circle. So very important, okay? Right. So the environment, what environment have you created for them? What resources have you created for them? How have you enabled them? What knowledge do they have? Very, very important. And then the last one is motivation. All right. Motivation. You will have to provide a push. You have to provide you have to motivate them, provide healthy push for your children. All right. So you would have to, after you've provided they have all the biblical principles. They understand the why behind behind what they do. They understand why they have to. They understand why they have to give their best. They understand all of that. You make sure that as a parent, you're constantly modeling the right behaviors to your children, modeling excellence in the things that you do. You have looked at what it is that they are focused on, or what it is that they have interest, and you have created a vision, and you have you have found inspiration for them to see why being excellent in this area will pay off, or why being excellent in this area will help them impact the world, right? You've done that. You provided the right environment for them to thrive, the resources that they need. The next thing is you need to give them that push. Now, that push, when I say give them the push, I'm not saying you should go and decide that your children should do a particular thing. This person is doing it. This is what is reigning right now. This is where the money is right now. This is how you thrive when you are in the UK, in the US, in Canada. These are the kind of things that you have to do for you to thrive. So because of that, because you need to be in a certain environment, you need to be in a particular place, you need to lose yourself, as in completely lose yourself and who you are and what you are and the purpose for which you are created. You need to lose all of that just because you need to. So get lost, let who you are and what you are just get lost completely, provided you can just be in this place. I think it's too much sacrifice, right? I think it's too much sacrifice to make, right? For a particular, to be in a particular place. So yes, we still want our children to look inward and see what is, we still want to look inward and see what is them, what they love, what they want to do, and then motivate them, right? We motivate them, We give them that push. We make sure that they show up for practice. We make sure that they practice that behavior consistently. You make sure that they nurse that habit consistently. You make sure that they are studying consistently, whatever it is that you want them to be excellent in. You want to make sure that you are able to give them that push that they need to stay there and be consistent in a very positive way. All right, so we're going to go in the last part of this. Now, if your friend is not here yet, and they need to be here, please tag them now. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the time to do the likes. This is the time to share the link with your friends. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. If you're catching a replay, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You're catching a replay, okay, and you're getting value, then tag a friend so that your friend will also watch this session. All right, so in the last part of this session, we'll be looking at 5 areas, okay? I will be looking at 5 areas, and I will give you tips, okay? I'll give you tips here and there for what you can do to create excellence in this area. So the first area is academics, right? We are all very concerned our children being excellent academically. We love the grades, okay? Even for those of us who say, oh, skills are very important. Skills are even more important than those grades. Yes, I'm one of those who says that, okay? So skills are even more important for me. I don't know your school of thought, all right? But hey, even at that, we do not trivialize the academic excellence. We do not trivialize. Someone said, my question up, ma'am. Okay, I will come back and look at your questions, no problem. All right, so we do not trivialize. I will look at your question, just give me a bit. We do not trivialize excellence, academic excellence. We don't at all. So that's why we say, let your children have the right habits. Let your children have the right skills, and every other thing will fall in place. That's the truth. Academics, soft skills, everything will fall in place when your children have the right skills and the right habits, basically. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple of tips that you can use. And hey, these are tips, okay? What I've come to realize with parenting is, yes, you get all this information, you get all these tips, but sometimes it's usually difficult to go on your own or know what to do to implement it to the end on your own. That is the reason even when you get jobs, right? You have said, I studied this in the university, I studied that in college and all of that. You said, I have this competence and that competence and all of that. And then by virtue of that, they offer you the job. But when you come to the job, they would still take you through a hand-holding process of, what do you call it, orientation, just so that you can get the hang of it, especially as it has to do with company, by how it works in that company, isn't it? So sometimes even in parenting, right, we get all these tips and all of that. The difficult part is putting our hands to the plow and doing this, trying strategies, and when they don't work, knowing what next to do or what other strategies to apply. This is what we do in the Mentor Parent Support Program, right? The Mentor Support Program is 100% about supporting you, okay? We do not have special skills. We do not come and say, oh, we're teaching you how to acquire this or to acquire that or to acquire that, because we know that you learn all of these things from different webinars, from the books that you read, from showing up here, okay, in these webinars, right, from showing up in other webinars and other places. We know that you're getting all this knowledge and you have all this knowledge. But what is important to us is you being able to put your hands on the plow and do the work. And then when it doesn't work, what next? Because a lot of times some of us we are just, we're there, we learn, and all of that. And this learning, we have not been able to apply it in the lives of our children, or not been able to apply it in our own unique situation. So the Mentor Parent Program teaches you or helps you to take the information or the knowledge that you have and then apply it to your unique situation. And so we help you thrive in your own unique situation. And we have the group mentorship, we have the one-on-one mentorship, and we have the trainer mentorship for people who are educators and want to know, okay, caregivers and educators who want to know how to apply all of these things that we talk about with the children in their centers and in their schools and all of that. So the mentor parent program is deep and is very robust. And this is what we do, is a hand-holding process. So we won't come here and teach you too many things. Oh, how to be emotionally this. We won't teach you all of those things per se. We would, yes, do you know this thing? No, I don't know. So we teach you. If you know it, fine. Are you applying it? Do you know how to apply it? What are your results? Is it working? Oh no, this one is not working. Great. Let's create another way to do it. So that's what we do. And we show up every day. What's your challenge? What are you doing? What's your challenge right now? How can we tweak it? How can we change it? How can we make a difference? So this is what we do in the mentor parent support program. All right, so one of the things, so yes, academic excellence. What do you do? First thing is to stimulate your environment. So if you're a parent, you have children, how stimulating is your environment, the environment where your children learn in? Okay, when you're dropping them in a center, you're dropping them in a school. Okay, what is the curriculum like in that space? What is it? What are their values? What is their curriculum? Is it stimulating? Right? Is it stimulating? Apart from that, that's the school. It's beyond you. Okay, but you want to do your due diligence so that you're putting them in a place that, hey, they're getting what you want them to get. But more than that, in your home, you want to create a rich and stimulating environment in your home. What are the kinds of things that your children see in your home? Do you have a library? Do your children read books at home? Do your children explore in your home? Do your children go out to play in your home? Do your children have structured play in your home? Have you created an environment where your children are able to learn independently? Have you created an environment where your children can learn and enjoy learning? Okay, because in academic excellence, what is important, the most important part is your children being able to be lifelong learners. Do your children love to learn? The only way you can help children become lifelong learners is to make sure that their learning is stimulating. You to ensure that your children go through this formula, right? Activity plus a sense of satisfaction, isn't it? Activity plus a sense of satisfaction. The activities that your children do in your home, do they get satisfied with those activities? Oh, sorry, when I was talking about the first 5, I talked about modeling, inspiration, right, resources, and the last one is actually motivation, right? I talked about motivation, your push, and all of that. That is all motivation. So yes, the activities that your children do in your home, do those activities motivate your children? Then the formula for motivation is simple. Activity plus a sense of satisfaction. If your children are getting satisfaction from what they are learning, then learning will happen. Learning will be internalized. If your children are just going to school, when they see the teacher, they are not happy. When you walk into the class, not again. They will stay there. They will cram. Right? They will stay there, they will cram. But chances are they won't internalize that learning, and because they don't enjoy that learning, they do not want to learn. And if you're raising children in the 21st century and you're not raising them to be lifelong learners, you are setting them up for failure. Because the way the world is going and where the world is going, with all the artificial intelligence and all the intelligences that we have, it is such that we don't even know the kind of jobs and the kind of opportunities that will be available in the future. It is such that a time will come that, because of the way our schools are and because of the way we're raising children, it is said that we're not even raising them for 20 and 30 years from now, because we don't even know what 20 and 30 years from now will look like. So the only thing, or the best thing you can do, is create an environment or help your children become people who love and enjoy to learn. So as the tides are changing, your children are learning the new tides and the new trends. As it's changing, your children are learning, because you know something, the ground for learning is very fertile. Do you understand? The ground for learning is fertile. The brain is highly stimulated. So whatever new thing comes, they're able to key in immediately, because, hey, they love to learn. The reason a lot of us do not like to read, do not love to read, do not enjoy to read, we don't enjoy learning new things, it's because the ground for learning is not there. We were not stimulated. We were not raised to be lifelong learners. We were not raised to enjoy learning. So every time there's a new thing that comes, we'll be like, I beg this thing that these children know me, I don't even know it though, and everything. Because you were not raised to love learning. If you were raised to love learning, you will see every new thing that shows as a challenge, and you will key into learning because the ground is rich for learning. You understand? So it's like having a flower bed that is rich. Every time a seed drops in there, even if that seed is flower or no, I mean, if it's a flower or not a flower, if a bean dropped there, right, is a grain, I mean, is a seed, bean, the bean seed drops there, it will flourish because that ground is actually prepared for learning. So it may be prepared for flowers, okay, but if a vegetable seed drops in there, it will flourish. So it's the same thing. Our children may have been raised in a different environment right now, okay, that is different from what is up against them in the next 10 and 20 years. But hey, when they get to the next 10 and 20 years, they will adapt, or they will still thrive because they have the capacity to learn, because they love to learn. If you understand, are you catching my drift? So that's where it is. All right. The next one is you must create a study routine in your home. You want your children to do well, right? Good grades, everything. They enjoy what they learn. They know, they have deep general knowledge of things. They have knowledge of things, and their insight to things is deep. Good. Then you have to create a study, you have to create a study routine for your children. A lot of us think that when our children do their homework, they study. Please, it's two different things. It's two different things, even for your 3-year-old. Yes. Let your children come back from school, do their homework, and know that homework is done. Then create that time. Have that time where your children actually study. For your toddlers, it can be as little as 10 minutes. It can be as little as 15 minutes. When you talk about, oh, so what did you learn in school today? Oh, I'm going to get my phone. Okay, I'm just going to make a video. So go ahead and teach mommy I'm making a video. And you can do that, and your child can reinforce what he or she has learned in school that day. For your older kids, it doesn't have to be a specific time that you sit down, start regurgitating what you learned. It could be while you're driving. Hey, sweetie, so what happened in school today? Playground, what happened? Did you make a new friend? This person that you said you had, did you guys fix your problem? Okay, did you fix your problem? Are you cool now? You finished that. So did you have a biology class today? What happened there? I used to love biology when I was in school, man. I was a biology person. Okay, so yeah, I used to love biology when I was in school. What are you doing in biology? Do you have biology today? Yeah, so tell me what you learned. That help me refresh my memory. Do these things with your children. Life, hard. It's not as hard as that. Okay, it's not so hard. Then take it easy. Calm down. These things, yes, ask them open-ended question. Thank you, Chidiman. Ask your children open-ended questions that will make them have conversations with you, and not just go, yes, no, I didn't, we jump, we stop. So ask them open-ended questions. Start it with conversations. Start by telling them what you did. Whoa, I had PTM hangout. Like when I pick my children today, they will know that I had hangout today. Okay. I had hangout today. In fact, they will see me wearing this t-shirt because I don't even bother afterwards, because after this, I just jump in the car and go to pick them. So usually they will see me with this and they'll be like, oh, you had hangout today. Yeah, I did. So what did you guys talk about today? These are the kind of conversations I have with them. All right. So have those kind of conversations with your children. All right, you are looking for academic excellence, isn't it? All right, then the next one is allow your children to be independent learners. Yes, I'm talking even about your toddlers. Now, I'm not saying leave your toddlers to do what they like. So what I do with my toddler, my daughter is 7 tomorrow. So I've crossed toddler line, right? Educators, 7 is not my toddler, right? All right, so even for your toddlers, right? What you do with your toddlers is you stay there and you tell them, oh, so you did this in school today, amazing. Can you teach mommy? And the child teaches you and all of that, right? Their homework, for instance. Okay, so you did this in class. You got it all right. All right, great. So let's do this one. Okay, so let them read it. What are you supposed to do? Always allow your child tell you what his teacher wants him to do. Comprehension is a skill. Comprehension is a skill, and a very important one in learning and independent learning. If the child is not able to comprehend, the child will continue to come back to you and will continue to say to you, I don't understand, I don't understand. But no, your children should not come to you to say, I don't understand. Their something from their homework per se, because they were taught or should have been taught in school. Yes, you will come in here and there, and support them if they're not getting something, but your child is not supposed to come home so that you can teach him a topic altogether. I mean, it means that the teacher is not being effective, or the teacher is not reaching your child. Your child is not learning from this human being. Do you understand? Then it means there is a need to go to school and see what's going on. Do you understand? Or see if your child is connecting with this particular instructor. All right. So let your child explain to you what he has been told to do in his homework. Amazing. So let's start. Number one, you stay there and you watch the child, lead that learning, or lead his homework. It's his homework. It's not your own. Thank you very much. Okay. So when they finish doing it, if you see that there is a bridge in the concept, there's a gap in the concept, the child does not understand the concept, but he has, it's bits and pieces here and there. Then if you should know, right? You'll be able to come in and say, okay, I think this is it. I think that is that. And then explain the concept and allow the child do number two on their own, right? If there was a gap in school, then by the time you explain, the child you'll probably bridge that gap and the child is able to do it. By the third one, say to the child, okay, mommy needs to I need to pick something from the room or do something in the kitchen. Just leave and tell him, try number 3 and try number 4. Okay, I'll be right back. That's you trying to help them take baby steps towards independence. I call it having your children grow stamina. So you need to help your children grow stamina. So this is how I look at parents, the ones that start having lesson teacher right from when their children are 2 years old. Lesson teacher. What you're doing is you are stifling that child. You are stopping the child from being able to, gain stamina and become independent. Okay, the next one, make sure you extend learning in enjoyable activities. Art is a good way to extend learning. Okay, art is a very good way to extend learning, basically. So use art. So in your home, right, it doesn't matter if your kids are toddlers or they're of elementary age. Always have resources, even for your secondary school children who are at home. Have resources, have pens, have pencils, have crayons, have acrylic paints, have cardboard paper. These are things that are hardly ever scarce in my home. Cardboard papers, glue, have all of these things where your children can extend their learning. Okay, so they come in and you're like, oh, let's create an art about the water cycle. You can create that together. It doesn't have to be on a day that you're tired. During the weekend, just pick one part of what they do and then create something, an art around it. Okay, what I do with my children, especially when Kamsi was doing the YouTube channel, we create models. So we'll create models together in that area and we'll learn with those models. Okay. You can also I use this to help my children with public speaking. Okay, we take topics from what they're learning in school. So my daughter can be giving us, a presentation on oceans of the earth, right, of the world, or whatever, or water cycle, or she's talking about government agencies and all of that. So what they would do is they would take their time for a week or two and create their lessons. So she would use cardboard. You can use cardboard. You can use the whiteboard. You can use PowerPoint and all of that. You do that presentation. It's your presentation. On the day of presentation, I will make snacks. I will do all of that, shawarma or whatever, drinks, snack, just anything basically. And then daddy will be present, I'll be present. They will dress up really very nicely and then they will do a presentation in the living room. And some will always have a PowerPoint presentation. So he connects it to the big screen and then he can actually do a presentation to us of what he's learned in that area. We also do it at the end of the term. We do those presentations where they, before exams, they come and they do a presentation of what they've been learning in school for the term. They give us, breeze here, there, because we are concerned about our children being lifelong learners and that they are learning for real. So I always say to people, before the grades come from school, I have my children's grades. So my children's school grades do not bother me. They do not bother me. There was a time I did not collect their report card for like 2 or 3 times during COVID. The whole of that time before COVID, the whole of online school COVID, I did not. It wasn't an issue because, hey, my report card is right in front of me. Okay, I'm not saying school is not important, very important. But hey, if you know what you're doing and you're ensuring that your children are lifelong learners, the grades won't bother you so much. All right, so that's it. The last one is demystify exams. I beg you. Demystify exams in your home. Let your children know that every day is an exam day. Every day is preparation for exams. Don't let your children come back from school, watch movies, do anything. Just do homework. They're never studying. Then 1 week to exam, you start scattering everywhere. I know some people that will even employ lesson teacher just to come and prepare the children for exams. What you're trying to tell children is, in life, right? In life, every day you don't prepare every day for life. Okay, you just relax in life until the day there is what you start preparing. No, let your children know that school is lifelong learning. School is lifelong learning, and so don't get into that mist of when there is exam, you begin to run up and down the place. Some of you have never looked at your children's book. When it is exam, you will sit down at the table, scream at them, shout at them, beat them, keep them up. Oh, I have people that I've talked to and their kids are up to 11, 12 o'clock a day before exams because they are studying for exams. What do you think will get into that head? Because we did it. We want our children. We want to drag these children into doing the rubbish that we did. Look at us. No wonder we can't even remember what we studied in university. One thing about what you did in school, you would not know, because we went there to go and eat or take what they gave us and then regurgitate, pour it into the paper, gave them, and then moved away. All right, you don't want to do that to your children. All right, I don't think I'll be able to take 5. The next one is financial skills. All right, how do you build financial excellence? Now, I'm not going to say anything about this because, hey, I've got something for you. I have a free book for you that teaches you basically how your children will get financial excellence. Don't worry. Okay, immediately after this class, give us 30 minutes or 1 hour, then check back in the group and you'll be right there. A free, robust book for you. It will tell you everything that you need to know about creating or building your children to begin to think, right? Helping your children to begin to think in the area of finances. Right. Research actually shows that by the time your child is 7 years old, he already has his mindset, okay, his behavior and his character around money. So a child that will be a wayward spender is already formed by that time. A child that will be prudent about money is already, his financial blueprint is formed by the things that they see and what they see around your home. The wrong mindset or the right mindset that your children have about finances and wealth creation is already established, quote and unquote, by the time that they are 7. So it means that before your children are 7, you should have taught them the right financial blueprint, the right mindset around money. You should have taught them this by the time they are 7. So yes, your 3-year-old should start thinking about money. Okay, so that ebook will answer some of your questions. And hey, the course, we have a course that is coming up first in July, but we are opening registration after this webinar. So you can register for that course. In that course, we have 3 experts that will be talking to you, okay? And you will be working with your children. You will be working with your children as you get the knowledge, okay? So there will be worksheets for both you and your children, okay, from that course. 3 experts, okay? We even have an investor that will be talking to you about how you can begin to invest and how your children can begin to invest and learn how to invest, what investment is and where to invest. It is going to be a robust course. Even I am taking that course. Do you understand? Like I am a student in that course. it is one of the, it's one of the biggest costs that we have in the academy, because we are bringing in experts, people that will come and ask, what is it that your child is interested in? And they're able to direct you in what area you should focus and begin to earn right away. And hey, there is a perk to it. The first 20 people that will register for the course, okay, would actually get into our boot camp, where we would work with your child for 2 weeks around their interests and how they can, the things that they can begin to do to hone those interests, and how they can kick off, even if they want to start giving value already, or doing something that will make them give value to the world, or give value, or even get paid for. So yes, after this class, you need to check, okay? You need to check in the group. You need to check the link. We'll probably put the link here too, so that you can get your free ebook, and you can also register for the Raising Financially Smart Children. You cannot afford not to raise financially smart children in the 21st century. Look around you. Everything that we do has one money transaction or the other. Even if you are a pastor, you can't even run the church without money, isn't it? Even if you are pursuing a cause, you are an activist, isn't it? You want to stop global warming, even if you want to do that, you will still need finances and the understanding of how to manage it. So what we'll be teaching you is how to help your children create wealth, manage wealth, and multiply wealth, because hey, it is all about multiplication of wealth. Children who do not know how to multiply wealth are children who have been prepared not to be wealthy. It's not a course, it is principles. Okay, so for your children to be wealthy, they must know how to create wealth. It doesn't matter how much money you have. We've heard stories. Go to the Aristo families, all the Aristo families in Lagos and in Port Harcourt, all those places where their parents and their grandparents made plenty of money. If you do not know how to multiply it on your own, and Femi Otedola is not the one that was rich. His parents were first. But hey, Otedola came in and Otedola is multiplying. Okay, the day Otedola is not there anymore, if his children, Tenny, Copy, and the last one, do not know how to multiply, they will still mess his legacy up. So with our small that we have, let us not be shaking our head and saying it's all right, it's all right. I got money, I've kept heritage for them. Calm down. That heritage will go down in 1 month or 1 year or 10 years. If you do not teach your children how to multiply wealth on their own, and multiplying wealth is not just about money, it's wealth. Wealth is deeper, okay? Professor Yosaki actually said, hey, what we don't do is we don't teach people how to understand the psychology of money. If you understand money, you will make money work for you. And this is what we want to help you do with your children. All right, so as soon as this class is over, check in the next 30 minutes and begin to get all this, or get all the knowledge that you have. Begin to get all of them, the free one, the paid one. Okay, get them, and let's move. Okay, all right. The next one is let's just take one last one and go. Spiritual. Okay, spiritual excellence. How do you help your children learn spiritual excellence? We'll be gone in 2 minutes. Okay, how do you help your children learn, or 3? How do you help your children learn spiritual excellence? So number 1 is you need to model the life of someone who has God. Shall you say your God is good? Shall you say following God is everything? Shall you say if you follow God, your life will be good? You will have a good life. You will enjoy eternity. You will enjoy life on earth, and you will enjoy life in heaven and all of that. You say that to your children. Can your children see it in you? Can your children see, the goodness of God in your life? If you're not able to live a life where your children can see the goodness of life through you, it becomes difficult for them to believe what you say about your God. So, hey, you cannot be someone who's constantly telling your children, we need to follow God. God does this, God does that, and you cannot even be happy. Every day they see you, you are moody. Every day they see you. And then when you even want to pray, it sounds as if, man, you are reporting every human being on earth to God. Father, every time you report your husband, you report your neighbor, you report your boss, this is all that your children see. It's as if you come to the presence of God to settle your scores. So the way you need to Yes. You know the way you need to let it out. I need to talk about it to forget about it. So some of us have decided that, you know, something coming to shout. Then they say you shouldn't shout outside. So let me come and shout in the presence of God. We shout, 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 and when I finish, hey, and adrenaline has pumped, I'll feel good. What is the intention behind the prayer? So you need to let your children envy your God because of the life that you live. This is how you create spiritual excellence in your children. Number two, God is not a villain. Stop presenting God to your children like a villain. Every time your child makes a mistake, you will preach the gospel, right? Keeping wrong records. Yes, keeping records of wrongs. Yes, very sad. Every time your children make a mistake, you will preach scripture. You will tell them the doom that scripture says. If you do this, you will go to hell. If you do that, your life will be this. Every time, this is all your. So when your children picture God, they picture God like that man that is holding a sword, ready to slash them to death if they make a mistake. How are you going to let your children become excellent and spiritual? They cannot be following God out of fear now. You have to love God. He loved you first, and then he demands of us that we love him, isn't it? So, how can your children, the only thing they think about God, or the reason they follow God, is because they don't want God to destroy them and kill them? And eventually, your children will find out that really, when they do these things that you talk about, they really won't die. They will find that eventually, all those things. Hey, you die. Hey, they die. Yeah, they will try it one time, they will not die. Nothing will happen to them. And then they'll try again, and they'll try again. You don't want to wait till your children are 40 before they begin to connect with God. You want to bring them, let the little ones come to me. So you want to bring the little ones to God early. That's what Jesus said. Bring the little ones to me, let them come to me. So you want to let your children envy your God through the life that you live. Let them know that God wants them. God loves them as they are. God loves them as they are. God understands that they make mistakes. But hey, are you ready to repent from those mistakes, change, and make sure you don't do it again? Because God loves you. You need to present God as a loving father, because this is who he is. Sometimes we like to project, as human beings, we project ourselves in everything. So we even try to project ourselves in God, right? So that's why someone will do something to you. You will hear people, if I don't serve a living God, except I don't serve, you project, because every time people do things to you, you want to finish them. So every time something you are, except I don't serve a living God, you lie in my head, my God will destroy you. Calm down. God does not work in our ways. Okay, so we need to let our children understand this. Okay, the third one is we need to teach our children to talk to God. We need to help them develop personal relationships with God. Sometimes, even in the way we teach our children to pray, we teach our children, we build the wrong foundation for prayers for our children, such that our children do not find a way to connect with God. Our children are not investing in studying the word of God and having quiet time in the presence of God. So even when we teach our children to pray, we teach our children to pray fire for fire. All right, we don't even teach them there is a place, for the violent taking it by force eventually. But your everyday prayer is a deep connection with God. So our children regurgitate when they pray. Our children regurgitate. So sometimes when my children finish praying, especially my son, when he finishes praying, I will say, okay, awesome. All right, now I want to pray. I want you to pray the one that is you and God. Thank you. Awesome. You just demonstrated, or you just copied mommy's prayer. Awesome. Or you just copied. Do you understand? That's good. You just recited that prayer. Now I need you to pray from your heart to God. So let's teach children how to connect with God. Let them learn to talk like children to God. Father, I don't know, in the playground yesterday, Funke made me feel bad, and I don't want to hold a grudge against her. Give me the grace to actually speak to her today without holding. Let your children talk to children like God, right? Like to God, like children. Let them not come, Father in heaven. There is the place of all of that, but let your children learn that God wants a personal relationship. God wants you to depend on him. Come and talk to God. Let prayer not be let it not be Let your children know what to sound very prayerful to you, because that's what a lot of us do. We turn this everything into a show. So we want children that, so that we can say to our friend, our children, when we finish, our friends will be like, wow, pastor, this person. It's okay, but hey, let's not lose it. Let's not forget what is important. Okay, show off. We show off even in church matter, even in spiritual matter. Okay, so we need to separate these things. We need to separate all those, pastor. The child prays in a particular way, so everybody goes pastor, 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 pastor. And before you know it, this child is constantly trying to show off with the way he prays, just so that, because he knows that you will heal him. I don't know, I hope I'm not saying the wrong thing, but hey, this is me talking from my heart. The way I talk to the children, I tell them, you have just finished the general prayer. Now I need you to pray to God. Okay, then that time they will not calm down and then close their eye and they go, Father, thank you. Even as daddy is traveling today, I want you to, I like those innocent prayers, that you pray with God, and all of that. And then the last one is, what's the last one? It says, opportunities to be in God's. Okay, good. The last one is help your children be in the right company. Okay, so raise your children, and by the kind of friends that you keep, by the kind of company that you keep, by the things that your children hear you and the people that are in your company, the kind of things you talk about, the kind of things you go on and on about, will become how your children see friends and how they see the people that should be in their circle. Let your children be able to make choices of friends who can lead them to God. Okay, let them be in company of good people, in the company of people that will make them better, people that will make them closer to God, and all of that. This is how you create or you build spiritual excellence in your children. We're supposed to talk about personal excellence. Okay, your children need to be, they're going to be excellent, then they need to have a set of values. It starts with your family values. Okay, your children must know how to manage themselves wherever they find themselves. So start by making them be able to manage themselves in their home. All right, your children must know how to manage themselves. How are they keeping themselves? Okay, they must have a rich self-esteem, right? Social graces, you must teach your children social graces, etiquette. How do they speak? How do they walk? How do they hold their own? When your children have the right social graces, wherever they find themselves, they will exude confidence. And when you know what you know how to be in a 5-star restaurant, you know how to be in a gathering of adults, you know how to speak in a gathering of experts, you know how to you know how to comport yourself no matter the kind of setting you find yourself. When your children have the social graces, when they know how to carry themselves like royalty, wherever they find themselves, their esteem will be right for whatever environment they find themselves. And that esteem comes from the knowledge that they have and the etiquette that they have, the thing that makes them stay in a place and people do not laugh about what they are doing because they don't know how to be in that environment. You know what I'm saying? Okay, simple things like teaching your children how to use cutlery. Simple things like teaching your children not to pick their nose. Simple things like teaching your children how to curtsy. Simple things like teaching your children how to engage in conversation, 2-layer conversations. I don't have time to go through this. Okay, so that your children can actually say to people, "Hi, my name is Kamsi. It's good to meet you. What's your name? Okay, did you just move in here?" So that your children will have conversations beyond 1 layer. They can have 2-3 layers conversation. When they can do that, it means wherever they find themselves, they are able to give a good grip handshake, and they're able to do 2-layer conversations. That way, that child is confident. It's not a child that will get into a place and then the next thing is like this. You understand? It's like this because he doesn't know, basically. So your social graces, don't take these things for granted. This is what will help your children build a great self-esteem that will make them be bold in whatever situation, circumstance they find themselves. And this is what will build their social network, and this is what will set them apart. So your children, for them to have personal excellence, you need all of this. Lastly, you need to teach them how to respect themselves and demand to be respected. All right. Then the other one is the final one is skills. Okay. Teach your children about giving out value, teach them about impact. Okay. Help them at every point think of how they can impact the next person. So when your children finish learning financial skills, then you teach them how can you begin to create impact with these skills. Everything that your children are learning, always put that. You know this, you can learn this, you're good at this. Oh, how can you impact someone with this? Who can you impact with it? It doesn't matter if it's just one, two people. It's okay, it's impact. Okay, teach them about impact, teach them about taking every opportunity, making the best of every opportunity that they find. Okay, teach them leadership skills. All right. This is how your children can be excellent in their skills and in the area where they are skilled. Okay. Teach them how to evolve. Teach them that learning doesn't end, and whatever you are attaining right now, there is room for more so that your children are constantly evolving. Thank you very much, everyone who made time to be here. I'm just going to scroll up and see if there are questions, and I will answer them and we can move. Wave, Chidima, no handshake. Yes, so okay, no handshake in case you put hands with okay, all right, that's fine. But as they grow older, they are going to get into settings like that where they are going to have firm, apart from the COVID and all of that is there now. It's not the normal situation, isn't it? It's not the norm, right? We just have this situation right now. But basically, our children will have to get into settings where they will have to give a firm grip. If today your child has to meet a president, when he goes there, he will have to. The president will extend his hand to him and he would grab it. Good afternoon, Mr. President. That's what we're talking about. All right. And then, of course, social graces. Social graces entail that you teach them not to put their hand in their mouth. Yes, it's part of it. So these are all part of social graces. All right. So let me see. Question. Teach your children social graces is very key. Exceeding boundaries, let your children be in the company, very key. Equally yoked, yes. I'm looking to see, help your children be right, okay. Chidima, if you can copy your question and paste it again, that might help me because I'm scrolling and I can't see it yet, except I don't serve a living God, okay. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, all right. Let them know God is merciful. Exactly. Please, God is not a villain. No, He doesn't want to kill them. He doesn't want to kill them. Okay, before your children become 7, teach them. Yep. Demystify exams. Absolutely. This starts. Okay. I can't see the question. If you can just hands-on activities, very important. Okay. Most times my children are motivated when they see me do that with them. Yes, very key. It has its place. When you do things with children, they are motivated, and then you can take breaks here, so that they continue to run even while you're not there. You come in, you did that, awesome. All right, let's go to number 4 now. Is she doing number 4? Oh, great, beautiful. Number 4 is just fine. All right, go now, do number 5. I'm coming. That's way. You see, the child is building stamina. How about if the parents are struggling and can't afford living in a good environment? Maybe they can afford the hood side. What can they do? Okay. All right, yes, we have situations like this where your parents can be in a situation where they can't give their children. Some of us, we have 1 or 2 limitations that we can't give our children all that we would like to give our children. Most of us, are like that, right? But if you're living in a place, then you have to create, you have to create your little heaven in your home. So as much as possible, make sure that in your home, you are creating the right environment in your home. Now, you need to be very concerned or very realistic about the company that your children have when they leave your home outside that environment. So it may be that you would have to look for other means for your children to play outdoor, okay, so that you can limit the contact that they have with these people in your environment. Children need to play. Is it better in school? If the environment in school is better, then let them do a lot of outdoor play in school, right? If you have family members or friends who are, share the same values and all of that. You may have to create a plan, okay, or have some sort of a routine or a plan where you go visiting these people every now and then. And then you would have to work towards, whatever you can do over time. You understand your present situation. I mean, we have the capacity to change and the ability to change our situation. It may not happen right now, but it becomes a priority and it becomes a goal. Because, hey, the excuses that we make would not stop, the negatives from happening if our children are in environments where they will be influenced by these negatives. So yes, you may not be able to change your situation right now, but you can work towards it, make it a goal, 2, 3, 4 years, and then in the meantime, you have to look for the best situation that they can thrive in there. I remember in bedtime stories for champion, there is I think it was Michael Jordan. The parents had to move from a neighborhood just because of their children. They moved from a neighborhood that was really like, very the hood, and they had to move somewhere else completely just because of the company they didn't want their children to have. Okay, so it is parenting. It is That's why, some people will say sometimes, if you cannot, or you are not, you don't have the situation to raise a number of children, then don't. But in this part of the world, we are just taught that children are a gift from God. It's God that gives children and all of that. We're not taught to raise children based on considering all these other factors. Are you psychologically prepared for that child? Are you emotionally prepared for that child and all of that? All of this should come into consideration, really. And yes, we understand that sometimes there is a flip in life. Things could be a particular way, and after a while, it flips. We understand that part. Then what we say is look for the best, the very best that you can get with what is available to you. Okay, look for the very best that you can get with what is available to you. All right, I hope that answered your question. So thank you very much, everyone who made time to be here. You can still tag your friends here so that they can catch a replay of this session. If you would like to be, you should, if you have children. If you have children, even if they are 3 and 4, you should start getting financial knowledge. Even if you don't have children, you may want to start getting financial knowledge that you would use to step down to your children. It's not everything that we can do on our own, right? It's just like school. We all went to school, we're all graduates and all of that. But hey, we still take our children and we drop them in a school environment where those who are trained to teach children end up teaching them, right? We might as well say, something, I'll keep them at home, I'll teach them financial skills, I'll teach them education, I'll teach them everything. I'll teach them. Once you burn out, you have all the skill to do everything. All right, we must get to the point where we're really willing to pay or to buy whatever it takes for us to equip our children. The price you don't pay today, you will pay later. And I tell you, repair is much more expensive than creating. If you don't create right, you may have to repair these things. Okay, you may have to repair what you have not done for your children, and the cost of repair is really, really there. All right, and sometimes you might have scarred yourself and scarred the children in in the process. All right, and then just like who said that? Bill Gates said that children need to start early. All right, children need to start early. When they start early, they're able to make all the mistakes that they make around money, around wealth. They make the mistakes early. So by the time they are in their teens and young adulthood, they already have skills that they have worked on and they have mastered over the years. And so they do not make mistakes that are costly or anymore like children who do not. Warren Buffett started investing at age 10. So even right now, while Warren Buffett is not the soundest investor, Warren Buffett is actually the most successful investor. Compound interest. Compound interest and the parenting advantage, because someone gave him financial education early in life. So, yes, who is this course for? If you're a parent, you want to be a parent of young people, then this course is for you. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. We do not take it for granted. We're excited to be a part of your parenting journey. As I say, I am your co-pilot, and I am here just to support you so that we can walk this journey together. No prejudice, none at all. We do not judge you around here. We just say to you, we need to do what we have to do. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Chidima. Thank you, everyone who joined, those who didn't put their name and I can see their name. Thank you, Christabel. Thank you very much. Those who are catching the replay, thank you. Have a lovely, lovely rest of the day. Bye.